Good day, and we are back for more Return to Castle Medal of Honor. And what we have here today is, of course, Operation Market Garden. Now, Operation Market Garden was actually a massive failure in real life. It was mainly due to optimism. This is something that was seen all throughout World War I. It was one of those things of, yeah, we're gonna get him! Well, how exactly are you gonna get him? Well, it's always like, yeah, we're gonna get him! But how are you gonna do it? We're gonna get him? What part do you not understand about that? Gallipoli was like that. There was... Now, this, of course, once again comes from Anthony Beevor's book, The Attack on Caen, was where, yeah, we're gonna take it the first day! And, yeah, they didn't take it the first day. I forget how long it took to take Caen, or however you pronounce it. Caen! However long it took to take that city, it didn't take a day. But it was one of those things, like, even had they made it to the city, that, according to Anthony Beevor, they had no plans on actually being able to hold it, or anything like that. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're gonna get them, and profit? It's always funny. Well, okay, let me put it, it's not funny. It just goes to show you that people that should know what they're doing don't know what they're doing, and it's really quite annoying. You know, when you read that, it's like, because when they fail, of course, that that's a lot of troops getting killed. There is no sweeter feeling than that rude jerking. I'm not sure if that's really appropriate in this game. Oh wait, letting you know your chute is opened. Sergeant Edward Barnes. I'm not sure if that's a real person, because you play as Sergeant Barnes in Medal of Honor Spearhead, actually. Now, Operation Market Garden, in theory, was supposed to end the war like a year earlier, but it didn't. The Russians, I mean, the Airborne. They can fear the Airborne too, but it's primarily the Russians. Or the Soviets, whichever way you want to say. Alright, let's do it! America? Fuck yeah, I actually like that song. I actually take that song as a massively patriotic anthem. Which is totally not what the creators of that intended. But you know what? That's the problem with creating symbols. Because you know what? They can be interpreted any way you want them to be. I think my controller's going crazy again. Alright, so we are, of course, jumping into Holland now. I think this is Holland. I could be wrong. But, yeah, one of the big problems was the commanders behind this particular operation were overly... I like how I can just jump all the way down there. Were overly optimistic. They didn't listen to a lot of their intelligence. That's something you'll see all the goddamn time in World War II and in war in general. They got intelligence like, okay, there's gonna be tanks here. It's like, nah, ain't gonna be no tanks. What are you talking about? You crazy. You crazy ain't gonna be no tanks? Oh, there's tanks. Shit. Now, there's a number of other issues with... Shit. There's a number of issues with Operation Market Garden as well. Like, they had some bad radios. They were unsupported. They were supposed to get, like, a shitload of tanks through a little tiny road. Now, there's one movie that chronicles Operation Market Garden that's actually pretty good. A Bridge Too Far. Oh, yeah, there's that fucking tiger tank just driving around. He's just fucking tooling around there. Fucking Tiger 1. I'm a big fan of the Tiger tank, but not as much. I'm still a big fan of the Panzer 3, and I have no idea why. I just think the Panzer 3 is really cool for some reason. I even have a model of the bloody thing. Oh yeah, I like this. All we gotta do is just shoot it, and it works perfectly. Well, I say it works perfectly. It works perfectly for destroying. Okay, we can pick up a... Shit! Stop shooting at me! I'm trying to talk here! I can't hit you with my fucking pistol for some reason. Aha! Okay, let's see. We need to pick up the BAR just because. Now, Ian from Forgotten Weapons hates the BAR, as does Carl. And, you know, I'd grown up hearing about how great the BAR was. And one thing my grandfather mentioned, because they still use the BAR, like, for a very long time. Now, once again, he did not fight in World War II, because that means I'd have to be older than he is now, if he had. But when he was in, they did still use the BAR, just to show you how long it lasted in U.S. service. And he mentioned they always gave it to the smallest guy. Now, once again, I'm not sure how true that is, but then again, you know, that's the way the military works sometimes. They gave it to the smallest guy, because when you're on the march, the smallest guy with the BAR is going to want to call for a rest first. Which, you know what? That makes sense. You're trying to march 20 miles. This is actually a really cool level. It's not exactly my favorite level, though. That actually goes for the last level of the game. But, yeah, the BAR, you know, apparently just wasn't very good, at least according to Ian from Forgotten Weapons and Carl. Like, it was extremely heavy, which my grandfather will, of course, confirm that. It was heavy. It only held 20 rounds, and it wasn't really modernized. Whereas a number of other countries did modernize it with like a pistol grip, a better bipod, and all the rest. I still like the BAR, so I don't care. I do not care. I will like it anyway. Okay, we got to get up there somehow. I guess we could take the stairs. I was hoping they'd actually get the elevator back in service, but oh well. Talk about your German engineering. I think these are all Fallschirmjäger. The Fallschirmjäger in real life are pretty tough. Now the thing is though, they weren't quite as well equipped as the actual Airborne would have been. They had like really crappy parachutes. Their weapons were not bad, but one of the big problems was they didn't drop with their weapons. They actually chucked them out in canisters, and so they had like a knife and a pistol, which means a lot of them were shot down as soon as they landed. Like literally as soon as they landed, they just kind of got shot. Well, they didn't kind of get shot, they really did get shot. And by the time the FG-42 came out, well, they didn't really do that many drops anymore. And the Ju-52, well, one of my favorite planes, wasn't nearly as good as the C-47 Skytrain, or the DC-3, whichever way you want to call it. And I missed that bloody one. Shoot the radio to disable. I like how the radio just, like, explodes. It just fucking blows up. But that's vacuum tube for you. Now, I think in this game, we actually will face some Storm Elites. No, I don't think we face Storm Elites. We face some guys with gas masks. I'm not really sure why they have them on. I think because they think they look cool, and they got so much fucking meth going through their systems. Like, we have gas mask. We will be able to take all. That's not even a good. That's not even a good accent, like, at all. All right. Now he shouldn't be able to see me. Tanks don't have that good of a bloody vision slit. Shite. I like how my guy can just fucking tank a tank round. For some reason, that made me think of like the GoldenEye. Because in GoldenEye, if you cheated all the weapons, you literally can use the tank cannon without the tank. So it just looks like fucking Pierce Brosnan is shooting a tank round through his dick. At least that's what I always thought of when I was a kid. Because like it just the tank round comes out of nowhere. Shit, just charge in. Sometimes you just have to charge. I had a dream as of this recording, the night previous to this recording, and it was where. You know, there's the age-old dream of, you know, where like you have to give like a presentation or you have to do a school thing, but you haven't studied for it. Well, see, for me, I don't really have that kind of nightmare. The actual main fear of the dream was that my hair looked bad. My hair, Dapper Dan band. But I think somebody's AI model is freaking out over there. But like in the dream, I was like, there was something where the entire class hadn't. No, it wasn't the entire class that hadn't studied. The entire class hadn't done. Like this project. They had to give like a presentation. I hadn't done it either because while I was actually a pretty good student, for me some of the stuff was so easy. Unless it was math, everything was like piss easy for me. So it's like I would like wait until like the day before to do it, and I'd always get a fucking A. But in this instance, I had to give like some sort of presentation. I was gonna do it like the day before. Well, the day before was the day on because I decided to change it, and so I was like, oh damn, I didn't get it done. So I didn't want to get a bad grade. So I was just hoping that someone else could go. So like maybe the class would run out or something. The time would run out. So what ended up happening is somebody was like, well, aren't you gonna go up, John? I was like, well, I'm worried about my hair. I remember saying that. And then then somebody like handed me a mirror, and then I proceeded to go up and give the presentation. And what ended up happening is I gave an entire presentation on the STG-44. And it was like this massive presentation. Now, the dream itself took place in the wrong chronology. Because my dreams were always cinematic. Like, with characters and shit like that. I've even had dreams that have, like, fucking intros and outros. Really? He fucking beat the shit out of me again. I was beating the shit out of him. My dreams always have an actual chronology to them. They always have, you know, they're very cinematic. But what ended up happening in the dream... Well, actually, the dream itself took place when I was still in high school. By which I mean it took place... I had the dream last night, but it took place when I was in high school. Because I remember, like, there were some people from high school, and there was an instructor from high school. But I was using information that I didn't know then. So it's like, fucking continuity's all over the place, man. Gotta fucking fire that director. Was fucking Michael Bay directing my dreams now? Well, there's not enough explosions and annoying people. But, yeah, it's like... So I gave an entire presentation on the STG-44. Now, when I was in high school, I knew about the STG-44. I knew a good amount of it. But at the time, you know, there was no. I wonder what Ian from Forgotten Weapons was doing, because that was a decade ago. It's kind of interesting to wonder what all these people were up to a decade ago. But whatever the case may be, I knew a good amount about the STG-44. I knew what it was, but the only real information I had to go on was from the old TV show, and I'm pretty sure some of you know what this is, Tales of the Gun. Tales of the Gun was an absolutely badass show back then. Now, of course, they never went into the detail that, like, you know, Forgotten Weapons would go into. They didn't go into the kind of detail that these later internet shows would. But they still went into a pretty good amount of detail. Hell, my grandfather even taped it on, like, fucking VHS. So I actually have a collection of those things. But Tales of the Gun talked about the STG-44. So, like, I knew a bit about it, but I didn't really know anything about the Lebel rifle, because I went on about that, talking about the firepower revolution of that the Lebel had, you know, with its smokeless powder. I talked about all that. Shit, where is he? Where is he? Is he up there? Fuck. But, yeah, talking about the Lebel rifle, talking about different infantry tactics of the era, you know, like with plunging fire and stupid shit like that. And I went on and on about that. And the dream kind of just ended with, like, did you actually... I forget what the exact word... It was like, how did you know... It was like, how did you know all that? Or did you practice this or something like that? I basically like, no, I just think about this shit all the time. Well, I didn't say shit. It's like you wouldn't want to do that in, like, a school setting. It was like, I think about this stuff all the time. And since I'm from Texas, you know, I imagine in some other states, be they California or otherwise... if you talked about, like, the STG-44, they'd probably call the cops on you or something, even though they hate the cops. It's like, he talked about guns, that's an act of violence. But I knew a lot about guns back then, but I know more now just because it's a lot easier to get information on these different things, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because back in the day, all you had was, like, TV and gun magazines. Gun magazines, I think, for the longest time was pretty much... I don't think a gamma grenade could really do all that. Could really blow up that fucking Tiger tank like that, but you know what? If it didn't, at least it's something new. Those Tiger tanks are always too small, though. Now, one really convincing Tiger tank from back in the day was the Tiger tank from Kelly's Heroes. It looked pretty much realistic, even though I think it was like a Tiger tank turret on, like, a T-34. But most people aren't going to be able to tell the difference between a T-34 and a Tiger tank anyway. Most people can't tell the difference between a tank and, like, an AP... Oh, shit, run! Really? You can't... I didn't hear the guy go up behind me, and then he proceeded to beat the fuck out of me. Fucking asshole. Fucking Fallschirmjäger and their fucking elite infantry crap. Fallschirmjäger were some badass motherfuckers, that's for sure. He's like... his AI kind of just jumped there. The Fallschirmjäger were badass on the scale of the Airborne, except at least with the Airborne they were able to drop in with actual weapons, you know, like M1 carbines, Thompsons. These guys could potentially jump in with like an MP40, I think, but most of the time it was just a knife or a pistol, and they had to run to their guns. That takes some testicular fortitudes, indeed. There's all sorts of really good documentaries on the Fallschirmjäger on YouTube. I'd watched some on TV as well back in the day. That's the one thing about the History Channel. They like to call it the Hitler Channel, but I liked watching all the World War II content. But it was always cool to see, you know, some of their other content, you know, like their Revolutionary War content and things of that nature. Because they actually had a really good Revolutionary War documentary back in the day. Dude, what happened to your eyes? Did Rob Liefeld steal them? But you gotta love just... They really do a good job with the Tiger tanks. Because they fucking make them look like the beasts they actually are. Now, they're unsupported... That Tiger tank is unsupported by infantry. Well, it's unsupported... Ooh, this is actually a pretty brutal scene. It's not supported by enough infantry. Oh, this is not gonna end well. Ooh.
Those sons of bitches.
Now, stuff like this actually did happen in real life. Most notably in Africa, actually. They'd like to... Now, Africa was an interesting campaign because the Americans were still trying to learn the whole military thing at the time. And so they dug some slit trenches And like the fucking tanks, I don't think they were tigers, but tanks would like go in there and like crush the men inside. It's pretty brutal, but once again, it's war and you're trying to win. So I don't like it because it's Americans being killed, but at the same time they're trying to win, so I can't fault them for that. Shit. I like how realistically that concussion should kill me. Realistically. But then again, if it was, it would be a really short game. Come on, explode already, goddammit! Okay, I'll allow the Tiger tank to blow me up with one hit because, well, yeah, that's an 88mm. Once again, the concussion should kill me. I keep mentioning that because an 88mm is fucking huge. No, wait, did that count me killing it? Did I fucking do it? At the bridge surface? I think it might have counted me killing it. Well, immediately. No, it's still there. Or is it? It's not moving. Yeah, it's moving. Fuck, run. Okay, maybe instead of like trying to attack it head on. Now, one rather interesting thing the Soviets tried was using, shit, run. Please tell me that blew it up. Now, really, that fucking pintle-mounted machine gun should shred me as well, but... The gamma grenades are interesting. It's a new thing. Still, I'd rather just have, like, the recoilless rifle or anything. One weapon you never really see in these games is the PIAT. The anti-tank projector thing that the Brits had. I just never know. It'd be cool if they had it. I think one of the Medal of Honor games might have had it. One of the Medal of Honor Allied Assault gubbins. Fuck it, charge! You should be able to suppress that much. Aha! Marksman commendation awarded. I like how, okay, see, it's like every time they give me this little bit of bullet time, I never am ready to actually use it. Alright, so we got more gamma grenades, now that we'll actually need those. Shit, get to cover. I need to be able to go prone in this game. Come on, go! I'm attached to a wall. Run. Oh, it's an enemy! I didn't even see him. I should be recording this so early in the day. But, aha! Oh, fucking grenade! Ah! But, oh, I didn't get to cover in time. Ugh. But the Soviets actually... Now, this is one of those things that seems so unbelievable. And I'm so fucking jaded when it comes to history now. Which is so many lies and half-truths and everything. So it's like, it's hard to say, is this true or not? You know, it's like, you're training dogs to, like, sniff out the tanks. But I also read that the problem is they trained them on, you know, like, T-34s, so they ended up going to the T-34 and blowing some of them up. It just, that seems so stupid that it's unbelievable. When you read just about the regular amounts of stupidity, it's like, how could anyone be that fucking dumb to think that that would actually work? Come on, get him. I think I got him. But one of the interesting things about the History Channel is you can see just when the History Channel stopped being the History Channel. You can see that in their documentaries. You can see it in how the documentaries are presented. It's just, it's disgusting. Hell, and how they talked about the STG-44 saying that it was... They had that guy who talks about ancient aliens talking about it. And it sounded like he knew nothing about what he was talking about. It's like the STG-44 is still fairly accurate, and you're still expected to aim with it, but he basically implied that all you're supposed to do is just sort of spray and pray with it, which isn't true. Realistically, with this thing, you're supposed to keep it on semi-auto, not full auto. Now, since this is a video game, that doesn't really work like that, and besides, we're not fighting at anything approaching realistic distances, and if we were, we'd be playing fucking... We wouldn't be playing Medal of Honor. We'd instead be playing Red Orchestra 2, but still, it's just... It's so annoying to see stuff that's that inaccurate. But that's what you get with modern-day documentaries and things of that nature. Modern-day documentaries just piss me off, because they just have that... They have that dumbass music mixed with patronizing voices. It's like, really... And I wonder, though, do millennials really like that? I think technically I'm supposed to be like a millennial or something like that. It's like, I don't think you're supposed to be born in the new millennium. I think you're supposed to have grown up in the new millennium, which I did, I suppose. One thing, I think I grew up at just the right time when it comes to a lot of really cool things. Like the History Channel, I got to enjoy it when it still was the History Channel. It wasn't the fucking Ancient Aliens reality show dumbfuck channel that it is today. That's a long title, but you know what? I wouldn't put it past them for fucking using it. God damn it! I remember this part when I played it every other time. It's difficult because they have that. They got the high ground, and you got to charge across there. This is where I should probably have kept my G43. But oh well, no one ever said I was smart. Just said I played video. Just a player of games. Now the next level from this, I'm trying to remember what it is. It's like this one's fairly difficult. This is a very difficult level. Okay, let's charge up here like an idiot. Try to grab some high ground. There's no cover up here. I think we can make it up here. Grenade time! Grenade out! Shite. That's a problem. I need to jump down and grab some cover. Charge in! Lead the team. Grab some cover. It's going to blow, and it does. It's gone from suck to blow, ladies and gentlemen. But I do miss the History Channel, and a lot of those cool gun writers are fucking dead now. But then again, many of the really cool gun writers fought in World War II, so they're already ancient when... Oh, that was an enemy. Why do they gotta have such similar looking browns? But maybe that's because we were all the same, man. Alright, let's try this for the billionth time. But there's 2 more missions after this, but I can't remember what the other mission is now. It's Market Garden, and then you drop into... I remember the last mission quite distinctly. I think you guys are really gonna like that last mission. Because I know I did. The way it's set up is something I'd love to see in like fuck, give it. Oh really? You have to put your fucking scope on there? Quick detach mount, man. High speed, low drag. I'd love to know what that means, other than just a buzzword. But shit. Good thing I can tank. Really? And that's how I die. I die from grenades. Don't phase me. Bullets to the head, that's survivable. But because they keep charging in and bashing my fucking skull open, that's what kills me. You know, talk about having a hard head. Alright, let's try this for the billionth fucking time again. The quadrillionth. Okay, now we got the actual scope on here. This is where I do miss my quick saves. But then again, the checkpoint's so close to this. And the checkpoint system in this actually works really well. Alright, let's flank around here. We already got the STG-44 out. I guess this might be where the shotgun might come into its own, but at the same time, give me the STG. Hey, I actually did something remotely intelligent. Okay, let's get rid of the Browning automatic rifle, or should we? Now I want the no, we don't have enough ammo for the Grand. Okay, we'll keep using the BAR. Really? I like how that's his first tactic. Just bash skull, you know? Instead of shoot skull. Shit, well, I guess I spoke too soon for him being a dumbass. Okay, I think that should be all of them. Let's just charge up here anyway. Since they do have the high ground, and we do want them to no longer have said high ground. We probably should have kept the G43, but I at least wanted to use the BIR once in this bloody playthrough. And here's where the game gets a little more tough. Now, I'm not sure if that convoy ever actually made it this far. But once again, this game is supposed to be slightly more optimistic for a war shooter. It's supposed to be an America fuck yeah game, and I like that just because I'm tired of America always being the bad guy in the modern era. And I know what some of you guys are going to say, oh, it deserves it. Well, you know what? As an American, I grow weary of seeing it, so yeah. So fuck you! But anyway, I'll stop insulting my own fans. But alright, so this is where the game gets a little tough. I do like a game where now you notice there's no turret sections in this game. I just find turret sections utterly boring. But thankfully, when I get on the turret, I like how he gets on the turret and immediately gets off, just like with me. Cause like you get up there and they immediately shoot at you. That I love. Now, the turrets in this game don't have infinite ammo, but... Okay, I don't think we're fighting Storm Elites, but we're still fighting guys with gas masks. Why they have gas masks on, I don't know. Once again, I think it's probably they're just hopped up on so much meth they think it looks cool and will give them more fighting spirit. Still, though, it's cool looking. I'm not going to complain too much. Now, this part is tough, or at least the first couple times I played it. Because they've got fucking Panzer Shreks up there, and those Panzer Shreks will kill you like in just 2 hits. It's quite hilarious though. Okay, we're in infantry combat, right? So their first weapon of choice is a fucking Panzerschreck. Okay, that's what that reminds me of fucking Battlefield 1942. I never really played that multiplayer, but I played it against bots. The bots love to use the Panzerschreck as an infantry weapon. Actually reminds me of one bot game that I played. It was the Normandy battle. The Normandy battle. Where like the bots all equipped bazookas for some reason, and they like were suppressing the enemy with them. It was actually quite cool. You just heard the bazookas going off every couple of seconds. I'm a big fan of Battlefield 1942. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But I only played it against bots. That's all I ever did. Battlefield 1942, when it first came out, was like this really super cool concept. Because it was like nothing like that had ever really been seen before. I remember reading I wasn't able to get it when it first came out because I didn't have a computer powerful enough for it. But I remember like reading it, the box blurb. It's like, you can control any vehicle, you can fly the planes. Stop beating my head in, asshole. Always with the beating the head in. Always beating me about the head and shoulders. Not fun. Really? Oh, it shares the same ammo. I forgot about that. That's always kind of cool, though. Makes you conserve. Reuse, reduce, and conserve. When will we learn? I'm out of ammo in this rifle. Okay, where's my Browning automatic? I got at least 12 shots. I can at least shoot a guy. Now, I think there's a Tiger tank on this bridge, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Like, Trevor's taken out! You're like related to that BJ guy, right? Yes, yes, but of course he's more famous than me, fucking asshole. I taught BJ everything he knew. That's why he's a fucking captain, though. It's just not fair, man. Fucking BJ. Then they named like a restaurant after him. And I didn't get nothing. I didn't get nothing! He stole my thunder. And... Thump. Like how... Well, of course, all I can do is hit the fucking mantlet. Assuming I'm hitting it at all, which I think I am. Come on, doof, again. Is that not blowing him up at all? Now, if I shot him there, I'm pretty sure I'd end up blowing myself up, because I know it would probably trigger me hitting him like hitting the box. All right, doof again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Aha! Bridge secured. Well, I guess this bridge wasn't too far, ladies and gentlemen. Now this I'm not sure that a Shermie could actually do. Okay, the Shermans are a bit OP in War Thunder, but I don't think they could do that. Alright, I am GeneralLotz. We have successfully completed Operation Market Garden. Realistically, we shouldn't have won this battle, but we did a pretty good job, though. Ultimately, I am GeneralLotz wishing you good. A bridge too far, or whatever, makes you happy.